Good news. The good news is that it is now easier than ever before to be successful in the peak quadrant, just as there have been technology advances that have made many things easier. Technology also have made it easier to be successful in the B quadrant, although it's not as easy as just getting a minimum wage job. The systems are in place now for more and more people to find financial success as B. The three kinds of business systems. In moving to the B quadrant, remember that your goal is to own a system and have people work that system for you. You can develop the business system yourself or you can look for a system to purchase. Think of the system as the bridge that will allow you to cross safely from the left side of the cash flow quadrant to the right side. You bridge your bridge to financial freedom. There are three main types of business system commonly in use today. They are Number one, traditional C-type corporation where you develop your own system. Number two, franchises where you buy an existing system. Point number three, network marketing where you buy into and become part of an existing system. Each has its strengths and weaknesses, yet each ultimately does the same thing. If operated properly, each system will provide a steady stream of income without much physical effort on the part of the owner. Once it is up and running, the problem is getting it up and running. In 1985, when people asked, "Where were your home? Why were you homeless?" Kim and I simply said, "We are building a business system." It was a business system that was a hybrid of a traditional C-type corporation and franchise. As stated before, the B Corp requires knowledge of both system and people. Our decisions to develop our own system meant a lot of hard work. I had taken this route before and my company had failed. Although it was successful for years, it suddenly went broke in its fifth year. When success came to us, we were not ready with an adequate system. The system begins to break down even though people we had hard-working people. We felt like we were on a good-sized yacht that had spring a leak, but we could not find the leak. All of us were trying to figure out where the leak was, but we could not bail water fast enough to find the leak and fix it. Even if we found it, we were not certain we could plug it. You may lose two or three companies. When I was in high school, my rich dad told his son and me that he had lost a company when he was in his 20s. That was the best and worst experience of my life. He said, as much as I hated it, I learned more by repairing it and eventually turning it into a huge success. Knowing that I was contemplating starting my own company, Rich Dad said to me, "You may lose two or three companies before you build a successful one that lasts." He was training Mike, his son, to take over his empire because my dad was a government employee. I was not going to inherit an empire, I had to build my own. Success is a poor teacher. Success is a poor teacher. Rich Dad always said we learn the most about ourselves when we fail. We don't be afraid of failing. Failing is a part of process of success. We cannot have success without failure. So unsuccessful people are people who never fail. Maybe it was a fulfilling prophecy, but in 1984, the company that went down was a company number three. I had made millions and I had lost millions, and was down was company number and was starting all over again when I met Kim. The reason I know she did not marry me for my money is because I did not have any money. When I told her what I was going to do, build company number four, she did not back away. I'll build it with you, was her reply, and she was true to her word. Along with another partner, we built a business system with 11 offices worldwide that generated income regardless of whether we work. Building it from nothing to 11 offices took 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears. But it worked. Both dads were happy for me and sincerely congratulated me. They had both lost money in my previous experiments at starting company. The hard part. Mike, my rich dad's son, has often said to me, I will never know if I can do what you did or my dad did. The system was handed to me, and all I had to do was learn how to run it. I am certain he could have developed his own successful system because he learned well from his dad. Yet I understand what he meant. The hard thing about building a company from scratch is that you have two big variables: the system, the pupil building the system. If both the pupil and the system are leaky, the chances for failure are great. Sometimes it is hard to know whether the problem is the person or the system that is failing. Before franchises, when my rich dad began teaching me about becoming B, there was only one kind of business, that was big business. Major corporation that usually dominated the town. In our town in Hawaii, it was the sugar plantation that controlled virtually everything, including the other big businesses. So there were big businesses and mom and pop S type businesses with little in between. To be able to work at the top level of those big sugar companies was not likely goal for people like Rich Dad and me. Minorities such as the Japanese, Chinese, Hawaiians work in the field but were not allowed in the boardroom. So Rich Dad learned everything he knew simply by trial and error. As I started high school, we began to hear about a thing called franchises, but none had come to our little town. We had not heard about McDonald's or Kentucky Fried Chicken or Taco Bell. They were not a part of our vocabulary. While I was studying with Rich Dad, when he did hear rumors about them, we heard they were illegal, fraudulent, scams, and dangerous. Naturally, upon hearing those rumors, Rich Dad flew to California to begin checking franchises out rather than believing the gossip. When he returned, all he said was, franchises are the wave of the future, and he bought the rights to two of them. His wealth skyrocketed as the idea of franchises caught on, and he began selling his rights to other people so they could have a chance at building their own business. When I asked him if I should buy one from him, he simply said, no, you have come this far in learning how to build your own business system. Don't stop now. Franchises are for people who do not want to build or do not know how to build their own system. Besides, you don't have the $250,000 it takes to buy a franchise from me. It is Hard to imagine today a city without a McDonald's or Burger King or Pizza Hut or every corner, yet there was a time not too long ago when they did not exist, and I am old enough to remember those days.